Will growth in transport business hit $12,256 billion mark by 2022? We are living in a world of numbers, which are stacked on a flashy screen of NASDAQ. The ups and downs could be because of disruption among nations or an invention that is promising enough to roll over the figures worth $12,256 billion by 2022. Hold your hearts, as this blog is bringing you the overview of transportation business growth while technology, economy, solutions and trends in the upcoming blog series. Well, we are referring to the wheel. Yes, you guessed it right. The invention of the wheel has helped us establish a strong presence of the transport network in railways, roadways, airways, and waterways. The invention not only propelled personal transportation but also gave rise to the logistics. It influenced global trade activities, trade-related agreements, and building infrastructure, warehouses, to support logistics. All these lead to the massive growth of the global transport and logistics market. Do you think science fiction has influenced the present and future of the transportation industry? The rise of transportation as business growth. Let alone be any industry sector from healthcare to entertainment, the customers have realized the vital role played by transportation. When managed effectively and efficiently for a company, it can play wonders as a strategic component for transportation business growth. Companies are willing to explore and pay additional fees for certain value-added services. For an emerging economy, this could mean on-time, safe and secure delivery while, on the other hand, for the mature developed market, it could be network transport optimization. In either case, the evolution of transport is market-dependent, meaning, its face value differs based on market and geographic region. The expectations are doubled when it is merged with technology-based industry solutions such as using IoT, big data, AI, autonomous vehicles, etc. The software stack has pushed the capability to deliver greater visibility, streamline reporting, real-time issue resolution, optimization, last-mile solutions, and more. A bit more in-depth about it in our further parts, but as for now, to cite the leading transport and logistics T&L industry sectors depicts 35% of the logistic and trucking market shares of the transport market in terms of the deal value. The logistics or trucking sector is sitting on the top spot at $800 billion, shows transport growth in the trucking industry. Furthermore, it is growing steadily over the past 5 years, and has accounted for 75% of the total freight revenue generated. Let's see a brief about each subsector of the transport and logistics sector. Trucking industry. Trucking has always been the backbone and has digested the maximum share of the country's freight. Unchallenged dominance proves that it can reach the heart of every city with its networking capacity and deliver reliable services. Though at a steady rate, the trucking industry sector is getting more active in intermodal logistics operation and small package delivery. Over some time, the industry has faced backlash and needs to find a workaround for the long-haul portion of the trucking industry, better pay, optimal use case of transportation and logistics software stack, etc. The deregulation has left the market door open for many new players to compete. Air. The air transport industry is quite active in adapting to market trends to deliver efficient services via express packages or air freight carriers. This makes it more capital, labor, and technology-oriented area of transport and logistics. The air cargo industry is seeming to stop at nowhere with an incredible 110% rise since 1980. Rail. The railroad industry is in the midst of some high transition phase. It provides significant awareness opportunities that intermodal containers provide to the transportation industry. The intermodal traffic makes up about 28% of total rail car loadings. On the contrary, container handlings have increased by nearly 300% since the same period. IBEF, India Brand Equity Foundation, speculates an investment requirement of over $777 billion in infrastructure by 2022 for the nation to walk on the path of Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, defined by the UN, with the major part of that investment directed to the transportation sector in the country. So how far is your current system in line to utilize the full potential to grow your transport and logistics business? Transport and logistics to empower businesses to grow. The entire transport industry investment structure based on world geography. we have taken into account the average annual transport business growth rate, which is predicted for the investment pattern until 2025. Based on the figures, the highest market share is captured by the Asia-Pacific region and the lowest in the sub-Saharan African region. However, the former will grow at the average rate of just 5%, with investment in transport infrastructure from $557 to $900 billion per year by 2025. Whereas, the African region is going to grow with the fastest average annual growth rate of over 11%. On the contrary, it is also interesting to go through a summary of the Global Infrastructure Investment Report for the period till 2040 that has forecasted the figure to be the US $94 trillion. This is 19% higher than the current trends and is an average of $3.7 trillion per year. Why risk not being part of the trillion-dollar transport industry? The study primarily reflects the spending capacity on infrastructure until 2040, keeping in mind the economic and demographic changes. The research was broadly based on the two sets, viz., infrastructure investment to continue as per current trends and the investment needs by all the countries if all of them are to up their performance ante. However, that void between the two generates an investment gap and throws in a few challenges of the global infrastructure investment for the sectors like electricity, road, telecoms, rail, water, port, airways. Circling back to the topic, the road or trucking sector single-handedly accounted for the investment of US $586 billion for the period 2007 to 2015. Do stay on this dial to know more about such insights and how to be a part of transportation business growth in our upcoming blogs. The transport Voyager of the USS Enterprise from the science fiction Star Trek is a giant auxiliary starship designed to travel at warp speed. Irrespective of being fictional, it showed mindful innovation in the field of human transportation technology. So does science fiction influence our future? Let's now focus on what are the current challenges encountered by the transportation and logistics industry. Challenges faced by the transport and logistics industry. Changing customer expectations. Supply chain integration. Digital transformation. Evolving technology requirements. Core system enhancements. Changing customer expectations. In the data-driven economy, customers are now data-enabled and demand a service where they are informed or aware of their goods, packages, etc. Additionally, today's tech-savvy business gen is varying with whom and how their business is communicated. This level of sophistication has set an expectation bar for service providers, primarily to understand their client's business and provide feedback or updates as close to real-time as possible. There is an urge to understand all aspects of the transport and logistics process. Supply chain integration. Changing policies, monitoring trade, geopolitics, and following compliance aren't enough when it comes to matching flexibility in shipping. Technology is pitching whatever it can. However, the major contribution has to come from organizations to integrate with the entire supply chain. Digital transformation. Digital transformation in transport and logistics is reeking in huge investments. It has opened a new perspective on how the collected data can be beneficial to the business. This transformation has differentiated by bringing in innovations in products and services in the niche market. Evolving technology requirements. Nearly half of the transport and logistics companies are still unclear with the silo service approach, especially when it comes to their IT system. Business owners need to upgrade their traditional system by incorporating and integrating modern solutions into their process. Core system enhancements. Overlapping of system architectures and applications is a common sight among organizations when they undergo mergers and acquisitions. Above all, this requires the utmost attention and investment to manage and maintain such mission-critical systems. We will be discussing region-specific challenges in detail and more insights in our next blog. But for now, let's check the answer. The answer is, yes, science fiction has influenced the present and future of the transportation industry. Yes, science fiction has determined our future and especially the transport industry. But moreover, science fiction brings the imagination and out-of-the-box ideas on a single platform. The transportation industry has experienced the closest adaptation of technology advancements depicted in science fiction. Evolutionary technologies like driverless cars, personal space travel, flying taxis, etc. have been tried and tested with the prototypes, and a few ones are now in production. In conclusion, it is undoubtedly going to change the way we commute. Computer engineer and entrepreneur Steve Wozniak credited watching Star Trek and attending Star Trek conventions in his youth as a source of inspiration for co-founding Apple Incorporated in 1976. Apple later became the world's largest information technology company by revenue and the world's third largest mobile phone manufacturer. Conclusion. Stay tuned to us for our continuing blog series to know more about the impact of transportation and logistics across the globe. For instance, the end-user industry segment, a detailed analysis by the geography of the U.S., Europe, and Africa, and of course what are the tech trends that are surrounding the future of the T&L industry.